So what did you think watching the interview? What did it spark within you?
I was triggered. I was immediately triggered in a way that I wasn't expecting, right? Like I turned it on admittedly to get the tea, right? Like, oh, what happened? Why would you leave? Come all the way here. But listening to her talk about not even just contending with racism, because that's not new, but the institutions that protect it.
It seems like it triggered you and created a little bit of anguish for you. Did you see overlaps with how the press treats you?
Me, others like me? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I it is my tenure has been one that has been like, oh, let's celebrate, much like Meghan, you're the first Black woman to do this. It's in my bio. Everybody talks about what that looks like. What we don't talk about is the backside of that. And when I say the press, it has been the unrelenting scrutiny on things that others who've held this seat haven't had. And as a public official, I'm subject to scrutiny, and I welcome that. But it is watching the difference in how your work is perceived versus others. And there's a complicity in the media with that. Like, and I think that's the thing that really struck me with Meghan is that it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It needs an institution. It needs a machine to make that happen, right? It needs something to put that out there. And I don't know that we've had enough conversation about what that looks like.
This makes me think of another question I had,
Hmm.
which I think is important. Colorism.
Yeah.
Do you think, imagine if you had been sitting next to Harry on that interview.
Baby. She wouldn't have made it. And I say that with I think for people who are shocked about the racism that she saw, I also know that there are layers to the game. And that the acceptance of her was because she was fair skinned, because her hair was silky. But the reason that they concerned themselves, I speculate, about what is this baby going to look like, isn't because they thought that Meghan was too dark, but because they saw her mother. And so it was, well, she looks like this, but what are those genes going to look like? And I know for a fact, and it doesn't diminish what happened to her, but there is a spectrum. I know that when people refer to me as a gorilla, look at her. When we put up, articles on social media and they refer to my features as gorilla-like features, or they did the same thing to Michelle Obama, that the spectrum of the language changes very differently when you are talking about women with darker skin. Absolutely.